Right. I think I hit all the right buttons. It looks like I did. Day. Me said day, me said day, me said day. Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday. What day is the 20th? Is the 20th going to be a Sunday? It is a Sunday. Ooh, that's going to be exciting. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Doon, 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 that I just can't hide it. Doon, 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 doon. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. Turn that off so I can get notifications. All right.
I dream of it.
So today is going to be very, very much the same as yesterday. Like, very much. We're going to be farming aluminum. We're going to be farming jasmium. We're going to be farming industrial pumps. We're going to be farming calibrated servos. We're going to be farming flour sand. We're going to be doing all of those things that we've been doing. It's probably going to take us 5 or 6 hours. It's like, wow, Harkonnen is crushing us right now. It looks like last week, or over the last week, maybe there's been some recalibration here. About people being in different factions. Also, this is something we always knew was kind of going to happen. Because perfect. Now I have 22 days of this shit. This is something we always kind of knew was going to happen. Because I told Oakham to raid you when done. You get ready. Wyatt the Riot, what's up, dude? Been a little while. I appreciate the consideration, but I don't know who this Oakham person is, and they don't know me. I'll be back. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you trying to put my name out there, but I don't, you know, Oakham has a brand, and their brand is their responsibility, and I may or may not line up with that brand. Okay, how are these things looking now? Okay, good deal. It's honestly why I don't raid people very often. Hey, what's up, Gravy? I dropped in on your stream a little earlier today to take a peek. You are crushing it over there, dude. Oh my goodness. Absolutely crushing it. Couldn't even believe. Sneaky, sneaky time. Yeah, I was super impressed. I mean, it's difficult for sure to stream and be interesting and stuff like that when you're not interested in the game you're playing. But honestly, with as many people as you've got in your chat, as many viewers and stuff as you've got going on right now, I mean, just that could be really motivating to keep going. Just having all those folks to interact with and stuff like that. I mean, I was blown away by how many people were over there. That's freaking awesome. I mean, you are crushing it right now. I mean, it is well-deserved praise. Well-deserved. Making me feel like I gotta get my ass in gear. Start doing a better job. Yo, what's up, Truth? We're all the way switched over now. We no longer have any regular power generators. We only have the directional wind turbines. We got new people coming here. I see a lot of new names. Yeah, Gravy, we definitely do. Found the difference. Mark V and Mark 6 handheld cut array. Mark V 37 Stravidium titanium. Mark 6 gives 50. Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but it's definitely worth it. Always worth it to upgrade. Oh, let's see. I need to repair my compactor. That's too bad. I accidentally used up all my aluminum to make duraluminum. Now I have to go get more aluminum. Yeah, Mark 6 compactor does make a difference. So there is no Mark 5 compactor unless it's a unique Mark 5 compactor. The unique Mark 5 compactor gains 77 spice sand per pick, and the Mark 6 compactor gives 80 spice sand per pick. And then there should be a unique Mark 6 compactor, and I believe it gives like 88 per pick. No taxes on OT, taking advantage of this. OT. Oh, no, on overtime. Is that even actually a thing? I thought that didn't actually end up being a thing. Or it was like super duper limited or something like that. Yeah, I think the Mark IV gives you 70 whenever you pick with it, right? Which is the Omni. Hmm. I mean, I'm kind of torn on that whole thing, truth, because it's great, but also it's going to lead to more people working overtime. And I don't think that's great. It's just generally not going to be good for you to work that much. I would hate for people to put BS financial stuff above their health when really they should just be getting paid well enough that they don't need overtime, you know? I feel like that's a bad direction to be motivating people to go. But I guess if it's the best we're going to get, then it's the best we're going to get. And at least it alleviates some of the tax burden on people who are just trying to get by. I mean, I totally believe that. And I think there's a lot of people in that position. But the solution should be that you should just be getting paid more. Not that you should be getting manipulated into working overtime to make that extra money. Because what's going to end up happening is seasonal work is going to start, it's going to start saving companies money. Because when you have, most places have busy seasons, most places have off seasons and stuff like that. And so one of the biggest difficulties when running a corporation is trying to find a balance between having enough people on staff to meet the demand of busy seasons without paying that staff during the off seasons. A lot of people do that with seasonal employment, but some places can't really do that, and some job markets, some professionals are not willing to accept that in certain job markets, and so it becomes a real issue. And so giving all of those employees a relief on their taxes for working that overtime benefits those companies, because now they know, okay, all of my employees are going to be more than happy to accept X amount of overtime because they're not going to get taxed on that, which means I can count on them for an extra, 4 hours a week, which means for every 10 employees that I have that are going to take that extra 4 hours or 8 hours or whatever a week, I don't have to have a whole other employee on during that off season to compensate when things get busy again. And so it really is just a benefit to your company more than it's a benefit to you, right? What they should be needing to do is that company should be needing to pay you a living wage, and then having to hire somebody else to take on the burden of that extra work instead of underpaying you and then, trying to worm some OT out of you through some sort of weird government perk, It's honestly, if you really stop and think about it, it's kind of super gross. Why, when I'm in my truck, is everything darker? If I get out, it all lightens up. When I get in my truck, it's all super dark. What the fudge is going on? Do they, though? Do they? Nope. And then I climbed. Why is climbing changing?
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
I'm so confused. Also, I guess I'm gonna have to murk this dude and his little buddy so I can borrow their shelter. All right, we'll just hang out here for this. I mean, for what I do, I think it's plenty at 22 an hour for night shift, 15% differential, which brings it up to 25. Get a decent amount of OT. Also get quarterly bonuses, can add up to 900 based on our performance. So the way I would look at it, and this is why I feel like the employee is always getting screwed, is we allow for the idea that businesses have to be profitable, right? A business has to be profitable to keep functioning because it needs to be able to grow and expand. But then we're also told to think of ourselves like a business, right? And so in order for a business to be profitable, I'm dying of dehydration. In order for a business to be profitable, it either has to be charging more for its services than it is costing to provide those services, or it has to be paying less for services than it is taking in for providing those services. So if you are a business of one, then by that same concept, you should be getting paid a profit, right? Greater than the value of what you're providing. But as soon as you start thinking that way, you'll see that that's a completely untenable situation, because a company couldn't be profitable if they were making you profitable in the same way that they're expecting to gain profit. And so just by default, that system is designed to favor that company drastically over you. And so it's never fair. You are always getting the short end of the stick. And so you should always be fighting for more. It's an uphill battle, and the minute you stop trying to climb that hill and fight against that, then you start getting taken advantage of more and more, right? You start sliding down the hill, which is why unions are so important, which is why, constantly going up to your boss and saying, hey, I've been here for this long. I've been doing this. I need a raise. I need a raise. Give me a raise. I need a raise. And just you have to advocate for yourself, or the company will do whatever it can to pay you as little as possible, because that's how their profit margins grow. And they're not going to advocate for you, right? Their job is to be profitable. And so your job is also to be profitable for yourself. And so you have to be a bulldog about it. You have to go in there and you have to go up to your boss and just be constantly. You have to be like, this is how much my labor brings in. This is what I'm doing. This is how profitable you are because of me. I'm only getting a 40% cut of that. We need to bump that up. 40% is bullshit, right? Or, 50% is bullshit. 60% is bullshit. If it's less than 85%, it's bullshit. Well, sure, they won't give you money if you don't ask. But there is an extraordinary cost. I forget the exact numbers, but it's something like 3 times a person's yearly salary to find and train and hire their replacement. So if turnover starts to get too high because they're not paying, or because they won't give raises and stuff like that, it is significantly cheaper to give a person a raise than it is to let that person quit and leave. But there's a threshold, right? Everybody knows that there's a certain amount of times you can say no to a person before they get upset. And the longer it takes between those no's, the more times you can say no before a person will get upset enough to take action. Which is why constantly being on top of your boss to get you a raise is the best way to get a raise. Or, leaving and going to another company. Because your boss is going to identify all of those times they have to tell you no. And they're going to start seeing the insistence. And then they're going to start realizing, okay, this person is probably getting to that breaking point. And that's when they're going to start thinking about giving you more money. They won't start thinking about giving you more money the first time you ask, because they assume that they can just tell you no and you'll be good. But the 10th time you ask in 2 months, they're going to start thinking, oh, okay, well, this person's serious about this, and I've just told them no 10 times. How many more times can I tell them no before they say, okay, fuck it, I'll go somewhere else? Because you're absolutely right. They aren't going to give you more money. They don't want to. If you were out buying steaks and the person who was selling you the groceries or whatever asked you, hey, do you want to pay more for this steak? You're not going to say yes. You're going to say no. But how many times could you say no to that person before they decided to just not sell you the steak? And decided to sell it to somebody else who would say yes. But that's what they want. They want the onus to be on you, right? They want you to have to ask. Because if you have to ask, then they don't have to keep track of what fair market value is. They don't have to worry about any of that, right? They put the onus of that on you. And you're just one person, right? You don't even necessarily have the skill set, right? I mean, you could be a blue-collar worker. Maybe you work in construction. Your skill set isn't, mathematics and market analysis to identify, where your value is as an employee. So you put the onus on somebody who just doesn't have the skill set required to identify, what they should be getting paid or what the market will bear or any of that. And then you tell that person, okay, you're in charge of advocating for how much money you make. Absolutely. You have all those resources at your disposal. So you know exactly what they're worth. You know exactly how much more money you're getting out of them, right? You have the mathematicians and stuff doing the market analysis. You know the answer to all those questions. So any dollar, any amount that they come in under that market value, then bam, I'm just getting a good deal, right? I'm getting all this work basically free because this person's coming in under their market value, and that's just extra money in my pocket. And that's trash. Which is why unions and group, I forget what the term is for it, but getting a group of people together to all advocate together is so important, because you start adding those skill sets and you start being able to more intelligently advocate and more accurately advocate. But that's pretty far outside the scope of this stream. I probably shouldn't be talking about that stuff because I'm not really the person who knows, right? I'm not an economist. I'm not just some nerd who plays video games. Okay, we are sheltered. Good. I thought so. Gotta be sheltered so that we can not get hit by a dust storm. Of course, it probably doesn't really matter now. We just had a dust storm blow through here. Unlikely to happen again anytime soon, but who knows? Nobody knows. Still trying to do what we can to get our infrastructure up. We still need lots and lots and lots of industrial pumps, so we're going to do a little more farming on the industrial pumps today. We still need lots and lots of calibrated servos, so we're going to do some more of that today. We're getting lots of duraluminum. We're going to do probably a lot more of that today than we have done. You know, we've only been getting about 2,000 duraluminum going on a given day, and that's not really enough. We can get almost 3,000 or maybe a little over 3,000 aluminum per refinery in a day. So as long as I keep those refineries running, and I think I definitely have the water capacity and stuff now, that I should be able to get enough aluminum going that I can keep both of those running all day, and then wake up and then, you know, start a couple thousand duraluminum each day. Duraluminum, I think duraluminum cooks every 5 seconds. So you can get, what, 6 duraluminum an hour? Nope, 10 duraluminum an hour? 12 duraluminum an hour? 12. There you go. I can do math. 12 duraluminum an hour. Sorry, 12 duraluminum a minute. 120 every 10 minutes. Yeah, whatever. Math hard, don't want to do it. Drive to next node, stab next node with laser. If there were things to smash in this game, I would smash them. There was supposed to be a patch today, or like in the middle of the morning this morning, super early. When I went to go look on the Discord, look at the patch notes, it linked back to patch notes that I think were from the 10th of this month, not this morning. And I feel like I remember seeing the patch notes from the 10th. So I don't know if they just didn't get them input correctly, or what exactly was going on with the patch notes this morning, but they don't seem to be right. They don't seem to be available, which is a little weird. I like to be able to read patch notes. Makes me happy. I like to see the progress they're making on the game. Oh, wow. There is a lot of plant fiber right down here that I don't think I've noticed before this week. That's fantastic. And more nose. This week is going to be a great week for plant fiber. I really need to make sure that while I'm doing this, I'm stacking up so that I can have lots and lots of particulate filters so that I can always be getting my water up. Because that's what this game is all about. More than every other resource you get in this game. It's all about water. I would honestly say that probably water is even more important than spice in this game. Like, I mean, I know you need the spice melange to make all the tier 6 stuff, but you can't get spice melange without water either. Can't get plastanium without water. I mean, you basically can't do anything without obscene amounts of water. There's lots of stuff you can do without spice. Oh no, low fuel. And for some reason, I don't have any fuel in my inventory. That is unusual for me. I normally have fuel in my inventories. Oh well. Obviously, we're going to make it back, so it's not really that big of a deal. Let's see. If I want to make I'm going to have to make like 10 aluminum runs if I want to make the 6,000 or so aluminum ore that I believe I can make with my two refineries. That would be like 10, because I only get about 600 aluminum ingots per run here, which is kind of crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot. Just want to fly to F6 to get some titanium. Drama going on there with someone calling someone a rat and stuff. Hmm. F3 used to spawn so many Stravidium nodes in the morning when I farmed. Only half of them, even after waiting 15 to 20 minutes. Well, the respawn timer has been increased. So the respawn timer is no longer 30 minutes. It's now 45 minutes, Gravy. So there's a good chance that it's still spawning the same nodes. They're just getting gathered by others. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know at all. Level 144. Holy shiznit. Rolling down the street. Need to get a new song stuck in my head when I'm driving. All right, I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. I don't think today's the day. At all. Think we're just gonna go ahead and call it. So yeah, thanks y'all for stopping by, saying what's up. I'll be back tomorrow. Um, yeah, today's just not the day. So hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you all on the next.